It began as a quiet suburban scene in Wichita, Kansas. Well-kept lawns, church groups, scouts, neighborhood barbecues. But on the night of April 27th, 1985, something else crept in, a predator in plain sight, a man the community trusted, a Cub Scout leader, a church council president. Locked the door behind himself, hid in a closet, and waited. As officers burst in, they found the body. And for decades after, every time someone said the letters BTK, it meant one dreadful thing: bind, torture, kill. This is the story of the man behind those letters, Dennis Rader, the BTK Killer. His story is one of chilling normalcy, horrifying violence, and a long, arduous hunt that finally ended one of America's most notorious serial killer mysteries. In March 1945, Dennis Rader was born in Pittsburgh, Kansas. He grew up seemingly unremarkable. Schoolboy days, a stint in the U.S. Air Force, community involvement. Eventually, he settled in Wichita, Kansas, married Paula Dietz in 1971, and became father to 2 children. By all outward appearances, Rader was upright, a churchgoer at Christ Lutheran Church in Wichita, a Cub Scout leader, an installer for the ADT security company. But beneath this facade lay a man driven by fantasies of power and control, meticulously planning and executing brutal murders. The setting, Wichita and nearby Park City, Kansas. Quiet neighborhoods, families doing their evening routines. The time frame, January 15th, 1974 to January 19th, 1991. During that span, at least 10 people were murdered by Rader, often in their own homes. Rader gave himself the name BTK, standing for his method: bind, torture, kill. While the full list of victims is long, some stand out for their horror and significance. The Otero family: Joseph Otero Sr., 38, his wife Julie Otero, 33, and their children Joey, 9, and Josie, 11. Rader entered their home on January 15th, 1974, cut phone lines, bound and killed them. Catherine Bright, 21, and her brother Kevin, 19, attacked April 4th, 1974. Rader broke in, forced Kevin to tie his sister, eliminated Kevin, and then stabbed Catherine repeatedly. She died later in surgery. These early crimes displayed patterns: selection of victims in their home, binding, strangulation or suffocation, and trophies taken. What makes this case so spine-chilling is how Rader managed to live a seemingly normal life while committing his crimes. He attended church, served as president of his church council, installed security systems, helped his community. And yet by night, he was sneaking into homes, stalking, binding, brutally murdering. One year, he might send a letter to the media boasting of his crimes. Another year, he would disappear from the public eye entirely. He delighted in the notoriety, the control, the message behind BTK. Early morning in January, in a chilly suburban backyard in Wichita, Joseph Otero lets the dog out. A single figure moves through the fence, silent. Phone wires are cut. The family, unsuspecting, continues morning routines. Then the gun is pulled. Joey opens the door, dog barking but frozen. The man says he is in charge. He holds the pistol. The family is ordered inside. Inside, the father is suffocated with a plastic bag. The son is suffocated. The mother is strangled. The daughter is taken to basement. She is ordered to remove her clothes, a noose wrapped around a pipe. The girl is told she will join her family in heaven. Then she is hanged. The killer masturbates as he watches. Finally, he departs, drives the Otero car to a grocery store parking lot, realizes he dropped the knife, returns to retrieve it, and slips away. One late afternoon, Rader broke the back door to Catherine's house. He then swept up glass to reduce suspicion, and he waited. Catherine arrived. Her brother Kevin was present. He confronted them, claiming to be a wanted man from California. He forced Kevin to tie Catherine, then tied Kevin himself. He separated them. In one room, he attempted to strangle Kevin, then shot him in a struggle. Kevin survived by feigning death. In the other room, he stabbed Catherine repeatedly after failing to strangle her, then fled when the truck wouldn't start. Catherine died in surgery. Rader stalked his neighbor, Maureen Wallace Hedge, 53, in Park City. He slipped into her home by pretending to be working on an alarm system. When Hedge awoke, he held her at gunpoint, handcuffed her, strangled her, stripped her, dragged the body to his church, Christ Lutheran, photographed her corpse in its sanctuary, then dumped her in a rural ditch. The chilling violation of sacred space. The church, once a refuge, became the scene of his depravity. In a quiet neighborhood, Rader watched his victim, Dolores Erlene Johnson Davis, 62. From a distance, he broke in through a glass door, told her he was going to tie her up, then steal her car. But when she resisted, begged, realized what was happening, he strangled her with her own pantyhose, dragged her body to her car, dumped the body under a bridge near Cadotee Lake. Watson's dog found the body later. Between 1974 and 1991, Wichita's residents lived with the terror of an unknown predator who struck in their living rooms. The psychological footprint, bindings, stockings, decorative rope, the use of phone line cutting, the tampering with windows and doors. Every house after 10 p.m. might feel unsafe. Every solitary woman at home might glance twice at the closet. His letters to police, taunting, bragging, urged the city's nerves. How many do I have to kill before I get a name in the paper or some national attention? He asked. Investigators in the 1970s and 1980s worked tirelessly. Blood and semen were collected, prints taken, but the man slipped through. In the mid-80s, a dedicated task force, nicknamed the Ghostbusters, compared 225 suspects over 3 years using the era's physical evidence. Yet here's the irony. The man they hunted was part of the community. The police, the church, even the Cub Scouts had no idea. One of the key elements in the investigation became the killer's communications. In October 1974, a letter to the Wichita Eagle under the BTK pseudonym claimed the Otero murders and gave details only the killer would know. He sent letters and packages, photographs, drawings, word puzzles, pedantic taunts. In June 1979, he left an envelope outside victim Anna Williams' home saying, "Oh, Anna, why didn't you appear?" Investigators realized they were dealing with a predator who craved attention, who enjoyed the cat-and-mouse game. His ego had become his weakness. After 1979, BTK's communication went quiet. The murders also slowed, and for many years the case lay dormant. Some investigators believe the killer might be in prison for another crime, institutionalized, or even dead. In 2004, after some 13 years of silence, BTK resurfaced. A letter sent a TV station cake, a word puzzle, fake IDs, sketches. Then a package taped to a stop sign at First and Kansas roads in Wichita. These communications re-energized investigators. The real breakthrough came via digital forensics. A floppy disk sent by the killer contained metadata tied to Christ Lutheran Church and a Dennis as the author. Investigators traced this to Dennis Rader. In parallel, DNA testing advanced. A pap smear taken from Rader's daughter triggered a familial match to DNA taken from under victim Vicky Wegel's fingernails. That provided the probable link to Rader. With mounting circumstantial evidence, his church leadership, his job as an alarm installer, his presence in Wichita, police obtained a warrant and arrested him. On February 25, 2005, Rader was pulled over near his home in Park City, Kansas. He reportedly said to officers, "Oh, I have suspicions why." His home and office were searched. Police found computer equipment, a pair of black pantyhose from his shed, and other incriminating material. The public was stunned. The community's Boy Scout leader was hiding a horrific secret. In June 2005, Rader pleaded guilty to 10 counts of first-degree murder. He did not plead insanity. Instead, he confessed, described each murder in detail, called them his projects, made no apologies. At his sentencing on August 18, 2005, victims' families spoke. Rader then gave a 30-minute monologue, clean-cut, calm, dispassionate. Psychologists later pointed to narcissistic and antisocial personality disorders. The killer's ego and need for attention pushed him to send letters. That pride made him traceable. His everyday community roles, a security installer, church leader, allowed him access and trust. Technology caught him. Metadata in a floppy disk, DNA links. Even after arrest, investigators believe there may be more victims. Rader may be linked to other unsolved crimes. Rader was sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms, without the possibility of parole, effectively 175-plus years. He is incarcerated at the El Dorado Correctional Facility in Kansas. His community of Wichita was shaken to its core. For years, neighborhoods in Wichita and Park City wondered, who is BTK? When it turned out to be a man among them, it shattered a sense of safety. Churches reviewed volunteer screenings. Neighbors glanced again at locked doors and obscure windows. The case became a cautionary tale of how evil can hide in plain sight. The BTK case drew national attention. It became a symbol of slow-burning criminal investigations, of how one person's ego can lead to downfall. Documentaries, books, and studies of psychopathy referenced it. The story of Rader's dual life fascinated and horrified. In recent years, in 2024 and beyond, fresh attention has emerged. Authorities in Oklahoma are revisiting a missing teen case, 1976, and suspect Rader's involvement, thanks to a word puzzle he sent in 2004. The importance of digital forensics. Even a floppy disk can crack decades-old mysteries. The danger of underestimating the ordinary man. Rader shows that outward normalcy is no guarantee of innocence. The long game in investigative work. The task force kept the file alive, even when leads dried up for years. The voice of victims. The families who lost loved ones made themselves heard in the courtroom. Their bravery matters. In the end, the story of Dennis Rader, the BTK Killer, is not just about the terror he inflicted. It's about the mask he wore. Husband, father, church leader, community man. And beneath that mask, a predator playing cat and mouse for decades. When we lock our doors at night, when we assume the people we see at church or cheering at the school game are good men or good women, we do so with a kernel of trust. The BTK case reminds us that evil often hides in the daylight, behind banal, the everyday routines. As one detective said years after the arrest, he won decades by being the quiet guy. We lost because we looked there, just not hard enough. And yet, justice eventually came, not in a flash, not cleanly, but through persistent science, technology, and the refusal to forget. We must remember the victims. We must hold the community's memory. And we must remain vigilant, because in every safe-looking neighborhood, there is always risk. And in every community, the shadows might be longer than we believe. Because he could bind, he could torture, he could kill, but in the end, the smallest trace, the metadata, the nylon stocking, the pap smear caught him. And now, his name is not Michael or Dennis to the victims. It's simply, BTK, thank you for watching. Take care of your neighbors. Lock your doors. And remember, the horror might not come from the strange in the night, but the man next door.